Assalamualaikum and good evening to Mrs. Afira Ali and my fellow team members. Thank you to Mrs. Afira for your time to participate in this interview session. First of all, I want to introduce myself. My name is Muhammad Amzar bin Manor, and my team members is FARIS IRFAN bin ZULKIFLEE and LIYANA SYAHIRAH binti Cik Abdul Razak. We are students of Manufacturing Engineering Technology, major in Product Design and at University Technical Malaysia Melaka. For your information, we are taking subject in ethics and OSHE for this semester. We have some question regarding code of professional conduct in engineering ethics. As an introduction, can Mrs. Afira tell us about your occupation and your role as an engineer?
Okay, Waalaikumsalam.
Okay.
Thank you for inviting me to this session. Okay, as you guys know, my name is Afira Ali. I graduated from University of Kansas, USA.
Mm-hmm.
I joined Petronas in 2013 as petrophysicist, and I'm still a petrophysicist until now. Okay, the role of petrophysicist is because my role is to analyze the log. The log is we got the log using wireline or while drilling using some of the, because the tool is very hard to explain. If there are a few tools that can be used to get the data from inside the earth lah. Jadi that data come out as log, and we as the petrophysicists will interpret it. So what is the output of the log data are the porosity, because you want to calculate the volume of oil or gas. So the output of the data acquisition are porosity, permeability, that is based on the equation, and then we will get the saturation, and based on that the reservoir engineer will use our data to estimate the volume or the production of the oil that will be like forecast lah. Okay, and then from the log also we can tell where is the exact depth of oil, where is the exact depth of gas, and where is the exact depth of water. So by providing that information, that's where we know where to produce the oil or gas. Yeah, basically that's the role of petrophysicist lah.
Thank you, Mrs. Afira, for the introduction.
Mhm.
So our second question, the question is, how far would you agree with engineering ethics that have been conducted by BEM?
Okay, as for me, I don't have anything against it.
Okay.
Basically the ethics would be okay lah kot as a guide for all engineers in Malaysia kan. And as for in our in our bidang pun, we have our own guide lah that we have to follow in terms of how we agree on numbers ke apa. There is also guide. I think the guide pun still must be ada kaitan dengan BM ni lah, as a guide juga kan. So we just follow.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so going to the third question. I am LIYANA SYAHIRAH, by the way. So I would like to ask Ms. Afira, when does engineering ethics apply in the workplace, and can you give some example?
Okay, in my case, since we are estimating porosity, for example, some of the reservoir engineer or petrophysics petroleum technologies or geologists or geophysics, they will ask the porosity from us. For example, if they say, you know what, I need more volume. Can petrophysicists raise the porosity of the field? That is where your integrity really needed lah kan. So if you were to just follow, then maybe you just raise a bit of porosity, because in my line of work, it is really just an estimation. Nobody really knows what happened down earth kan. So just by using the best estimation that we have, as using log as the guide, so there is when the integrity comes in lah. Because most of course our reservoir engineer also need for example, we already produce some oil kan, there are some production already. As our initial estimation, the volume is this much, but when we produce, it doesn't match pun with the volume that we estimate, something like that. So people will try to find where is the mistake, and usually they will come back to petrophysicists because that is the easiest parameter that you can play around with. Macam setakat 0.3 and then you change to 0.25. So we are the easiest target where people can persuade to us to change the number if they need to. So that is when the integrity comes in lah. Sometimes they don't simply ask us to change. Of course, they have some data that can make them ask us to change, but we also have the data to defend our work. So if we can defend our work, so there must be something else or some parameter that is not coming from us that need to be changed, macam tu. But if it is but if their data is more solid ke, and then we know that there is lacking on us, then it's on us lah, need to change kan, macam tu. So I think that is where the integrity comes in lah, in my line of work.
Nice.
Alright, so before we end our Q&A, would you mind give us some sharing regarding your own thoughts about this topic and how you would improve it in your workplace?
Okay. I have an experience. This is involving coring. Coring costs us more than $1 million to core yang kat dalam tanah tu. And unfortunately, under my observation, the core was not correctly handled by our contractor. It was an upset event because we expect that we paid that much of money to our contractor, but the contractor didn't handle it properly. They managed to took out the core, but when they transported it, when we receive it, the core are everywhere. When we receive the cores, we want the core to be in the right place, in a very solid box ke apa kan. But apparently when they came to us, the cores were everywhere. Macam pecah tau. So macam at that point of time, all of us were looking at the contract. Who to macam bukanlah nak play fault but it is on our fault too, because we didn't really ask them how do you pack it. We just focus on the execution itself. So that is our lacking lah. But in terms of, they are contractor kan, they already handle like thousands of coring. How could they don't know how to handle core kan? So macam at that point of time, people will just look at the contract again. So macam ni lah kot BM pun, of course macam tu lah, we always refer back to the contract kan. So when we look at the contract, memang ada lacking. There were some lacking involving macam in terms of our operator yang my company ada, and the contract of coring itself as a whole. Maknanya all and gas company, maknanya contractor pun punya contract pun tak solid, and operator punya contract pun tak solid. When bila benda macam tu jadi, susah tau. Because dekat situ the statement is really on the surface saja. Macam the cores must be put macam ni. Tapi they don't mention about dimension. If the diameter of this core letak dalam box macam mana. So the lacking is there. So there is no point macam the operator untuk dapat duit, and contractor pun boleh cakap, oh we do as per contract, because the contract tak solid macam tu. So the lesson learned from there, I think the contract tu kena betul-betul written lah, in terms of not just focusing on the execution itself, but in terms of the after execution. That is my biggest learning lah, sebab case tu sampai atas kan, dah core berjuta, kita pecah pula macam tu. Is there any more questions?
Ada lagi ke Yana? Tak ada dah. We are grateful for an interview with you today, and thanks for your sharing. And thank you Mrs. Afira, and have a good day.
Yeah, thank you to you guys too. Bye bye.
Okay, bye. Thank you. Terima kasih.
Assalamualaikum.
Salam.
Salam.
As an engineer.
As an engineer.
Okay. I work with Deloitte R&D. Sdn Berhad. Basically, it's a subsidiary to the Deloitte Ventures Berhad. You can Google it up. Look at the website. So basically, I'm in charge on the whole operation of Deloitte R&D, and basically on our main task were edit, product development, product design, testings, toolings, and also managing the project. So basically, we are doing some to develop the product, start from the ideas until it's ready for productions.
Good, thank you, sir. For our next question, how far would you agree with engineering ethics that have been conducted by Board of Engineer Malaysia or BEM?
So, what are the engineering ethics that they are? So, actually, basically, I mean, when you say the ethics, it's like it's a general term of ethics, lah. That everybody should have the honesty, integrity, secrecy, confidentiality. I mean, this is part of also this the jobs, lah. I mean, not only as engineer but also as a employee that we were bound by this ethics and in code of conducts. Normally, code of conducts already laid out by the companies, lah. Some are not, but some is already understood that we have to maintain this our role, our integrity as a employee, that we cannot conduct in such manner that it will be detrimental to the company that we work with. So it doesn't matter. You can start from integrity of the company, secrecy, even competitions, and also another one is that our personal interests also cannot basically cannot supersede the interest of the company. So any personal interest must be in line of the company as long as the within the scope of our contracts.
Okay, so for the next question, could you give some example when engineering ethics applied at your workplace?
So engineering ethics basically that number one is this confidentiality is very important, that we cannot leak the information, whatever information that is that we as employee must preserve this confidentiality lah. It's come from either commercial, technical advantage. All this has to be preserved, and also that is number one. Number two is we have to ensure that our role as employee, as engineers, that we must make sure that we conduct our roles, how put it, honestly. Another one is we basically that whatever that the tasks are given to us. For example, that when we are given the specific task, we have to ensure that it will properly carry out, and also there is no shortcuts because we always have our guidelines in terms of doing things. For example, like we have to do the design, the drawings, dealing with suppliers and customers. So we always have to be mindful is whatever that we basically is communicating with them, such that we have to ensure that whatever informations that we are sharing with our counterparts, it has to be basically advantageous to the company. I think this is one of them. There are so many, but I just giving you one example. Because what I want to stress here is the important thing is the integrity of the engineers. This is very important, because once the management lose the trust on you as engineer, then I think your career pretty much ruined. So actually, is reputation as an engineer is very important, not only to your superior and also to your customer. If your customer caught that you lying or cheating or doing fraud, so it's very difficult to get back this trust again. So this is you have to be very careful. Yeah, the most important thing is the personal character. Actually, this is also true not only as engineer but also as a human being, basically. So pretty much it's quite common.